everyone, it's Joyel and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be going through my current or updated hair care routine. It's really not very different from what I was doing in the past. There's like 2 or 3 steps that are a little bit different. But of course, don't forget to click that subscribe button down below. Let's get started. So obviously the first step is going to be wash day. This routine hasn't really changed very much. As usual, I section out my hair. I shampoo it with my Nizoral. It's the only shampoo that I have been using for a couple of years now, and it's the only one that works for my itchy scalp. I've talked about it in every hair video. Those of you that have been on my channel are probably know that routine by now. It's always gonna be Nizoral shampoo. I usually only use another shampoo if it's like on the length of my hair, if I just happen to have leftovers from product reviews or what things people send me, but always on my scalp, which is where you should be using your shampoo, it's always gonna be Nizoral. It's 9.5 times out of 10, that's what it's going to be. The thing that hasn't changed is that I always put it in a nozzle bottle. You can get like a hair dye bottle, you know, one that you just have laying around, or you can buy them on Amazon, you can buy them at Sally's. Just get something with a nozzle, and it helps to cut through the thickness of my hair and to really make sure that shampoo is touching my scalp. Dig it right through my hair, apply it directly to my scalp. I make sure to scrub for, you know, about a minute. The biggest step is you want to let it sit. You want to give it time to actually work and to combat any of that itchiness, any of that dryness, any of that seborrheic dermatitis, any of, you know, whatever. And what's nice about it is that because it comes in a small bottle, a little goes a long way. You really don't need a lot. It's super creamy and it doesn't make my hair feel super dry, like whatsoever. I wouldn't categorize it as a clarifying shampoo because obviously it's a medicated shampoo, but it's not clarifying in the sense that it's gonna strip your hair of everything. It's a little bit more moisturizing than that. So that part of my routine hasn't changed. The part that is a bit different is I haven't been technically deep conditioning very often. I wanna say honestly, it's probably been almost a year since I've deep conditioned my hair. Does not mean I'm not conditioning though. I definitely still condition. However, the brand that I've been using, it's called Luseta, and I actually discovered it at Marshall's. There's a Marshall's right up the street from my house. And I saw that they had a whole hair care section, and I saw these huge tins of conditioner, and I've used probably 3 or 4 different types of it, but the ones I always go for are the moisturizing and repairing and strengthening. The one that I have used the most is their Argan oil hair mask. It's their moisturizing and repair formula. It's supposed to be color safe, free of sulfates, parabens, and gluten, and it's meant for obviously damaged or dry hair. How they describe to use it is after cleansing, apply it generously to damp hair and leave on for up to 5 minutes, then rinse thoroughly. And I like it because it has a lot of slip and it does make my hair feel very moisturized. It's a hair mask, so you know, you leave it on for a period of time, but it's not like leaving it on for, you know, 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes like a deep conditioner, like how I was using a deep conditioner. I just apply this to my freshly shampooed hair, my still damp hair. And then you see me applying the mask or the conditioner up towards my roots. I'm not trying to get it on my scalp. I'm just trying to get it onto my roots so that I can use the conditioner to help detangle my hair up to my roots after it's been sitting on here for a little bit. But we're just gonna clamp this up now. Okay. And we're gonna let this sit for a couple of minutes. I let it sit, you know, for about that 5 minutes, and then I can detangle my hair. How I used to do it was I would apply the deep conditioner, put a plastic cap on, you know, go downstairs, heat up my hot heads cap, wear that for between 30 minutes to an hour, just depended on how I felt. And then I'd have to get back in the shower, you know, take that stuff off, and then I could detangle. This kind of eliminated a lot of extra steps for me, and it eliminated having to get in and out of the shower. I'm sure that there are deep conditioners where you don't have to do that. You can literally just leave it on your hair. This is just what I've been using because there's a lot of it. I like how it makes my hair feel, and I did say that one of my New Year's goals was to get back into deep conditioning, and I think one of the easiest ways for me to get back into that is just to find a deep conditioner that I don't have to get out of my shower for. And even though I love my hot heads cap, I just don't like having to get in and out of the shower to go heat it up and use it. And mine's super old, so it's stretched out. I have used it to its full extent at this time. It doesn't even stay hot for very long anymore. Again, I've overstretched it because I have so much hair now and I've been using it for years. I just haven't replaced it. I still definitely recommend it. I still adore hot heads. I feel like I'm in my extra lazy natural chapter. So if I can find a deep conditioner that I can just put on my head, even just put on a plastic cap on my head while I'm still in the shower for like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes, and then take it off and rinse it out and detangle, that is probably gonna be my preferred step at this point in my hair journey. The easier, the better, the quicker, the better. I mean, you can't make everything super quick. That's just how it is for me at this point in my journey. Now that I also have a lot more hair to work with, I'm trying to find ways to cut back time, especially in the shower. So the shampoo and conditioning, those are still the same. It's the type of conditioning that's changed for me. But I do detangle my hair with the conditioner. I like to use my Unbrush. I think it's the Unbrush Plus. If I'm wrong, I'll put a caption here. I get mine off Amazon. The Unbrush Plus is like the normal Unbrush. The bristles are just longer, which is better for those with, you know, thicker hair. And I use that to detangle. I usually will run the section under the water with the conditioner in it and just detangle that way. It tends to be a little bit smoother. And I keep my hair in about 4 sections throughout that process. I don't do as many sections anymore because it just takes forever. I have so much more hair now, and I don't feel like having, you know, 12 sections on my head. So I just basically put mine into quarters, and with the Unbrush, I can literally detangle an entire quarter of my hair super easy, like way easier than I ever could with the Felicia Leatherwood brush. That just wasn't possible for me at the time. But with the Unbrush, shockingly, something that looks like a Barbie Dreamhouse doll brush worked really well on my hair. So I've been able to also cut down time by reducing the number of sections, and by changing the type of brush, I'm able to get through larger sections quicker. So I definitely recommend the Unbrush. I recommend at least trying it. It's not gonna work for everybody, but I do recommend trying it. So after rinsing out the conditioner, keeping my hair in those 4 twists is where we move on to the styling part, which also hasn't changed very much. We're out of the shower. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is apply my sulfurate that I've melted down. So here's my bottle just full of melted sulfurate. It's been chilling on my candle warmer while I was in the shower washing. So I'm just gonna keep my hair in these 4 sections, and then I'm just gonna squirt the sulfurate all over my scalp. And then I always have to make sure I get it around the edges of my forehead, because that is where my scalp tends to get dry the most, where I get the most flakes. We're just gonna kind of massage that in, and then we're done with that step. I have my hair in 4 sections when I get out, right? What I do with those sections is I then take each section and I put it into 3 different parts. So when styling, I will have 12 twists in my head. So each section will be put into 3 twists. For each twist, I'm still applying water with my spray bottle. You guys know that, you know, when styling and working with your hair, you want to have as much, you know, hydration on that, and usually that's with water. The one thing that I have changed is, instead of just using regular water, I now use a like rosemary and clove water. I will do an updated video on how I make this water, but it's rosemary, clove, sometimes mint, and sometimes thyme, that I boil and steep for about 15 minutes, let it cool, and then I pour it into a spray bottle. And this is the water that I use. So I will mist my hair with that. And then the leave-in that I have been using is the TGIN Buttercream leave-in. This has been my favorite leave-in for the last couple months, specifically since Thanksgiving of 2024. I have used this product before and absolutely loved it, but you know, over the years you start trying different things and using different things. When we were in Oregon for Thanksgiving, I made the mistake of thinking that I wanted to wear my afro out. I wasn't gonna stretch it, nothing. I used the Dew like Honey Girl Mousse Foam. It's like their new line of the Most Def texture foam. It's like this honey version. It was supposed to and claiming to be more moisturizing than the original. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. No, I'm just gonna use the foam and I'm gonna wear my natural pattern out, and I'm not gonna stretch it. That was a mistake. It was very cold in Oregon, and that texture foam that was supposed to add moisture, and I know honey is a humectant and it's supposed to draw moisture from the air. Well, that cold Oregon air was just sucking any moisture out of my hair. It wasn't, you know, the honey was doing nothing for me. My hair was so stiff, and it was so dry, and it was so thick, and it was awful. I looked crazy. Like, I don't have any pictures, but just trust me, I was miserable. So when we decided to drive from Oregon to Walla Walla, Washington to go visit some other family, I asked if we could please stop at Walmart and grab some leave-in conditioner because the foam I brought with me was not going to do anything. You know, it was the middle of nowhere in the Northwest, and the small section that they did have in Walmart for ethnic hair, I immediately recognized TGIN, and that's the one I grabbed. And it saved my life. I washed my hair, I got all the texture foam back out of it. I used the leave-in and I just put my hair in a bunch of twists for Thanksgiving, and it saved my hair. My hair felt amazing, and I've just been using it since. Right now it's my hands down my favorite. It'll forever be my go-to at this point. Just how well it saved my hair when we were in Oregon. It completely changed how much I value that specific product, and that's the one I've been using ever since. So after misting, I will use about, honestly I use a lot. I use about a quarter size amount on each of these sections, and I kind of really rub that in, starting from the ends and working my way up. Sometimes I'll use another dime-sized amount and apply that to the roots and work that down to the ends, just making sure the whole section is covered. Then I go in with my Tresemme heat protectant spray on my ends. I don't really waste doing it all over the whole section. It's mostly my ends that I'm worried about. Do a couple sprays of that, and then I will re-detangle with my unbrush. And then this is where the RevAir comes in. I've been using this for also a couple years now, and it is a big part of my current hair journey. I just have a lot more hair, much longer hair, and stretching it is just the phase that I'm in right now. And probably will be, because now my hair is so much longer, it doesn't stand up in a fro anymore. So stretching my hair and being in a stretched state is how it is 9 times out of 10. I've started using this now. It has up to 7 suction levels, with 7 being the highest and the hardest suction level. I've been using it at like 5 and 6 now, and then I also use it on low heat. It's supposed to be less damaging than a regular blow dryer, but I just feel better using it on a low heat. I will blow dry it for about a minute, and then anywhere between 10 to 20 more seconds afterwards. So suction your hair up, let that go for a minute, use your unbrush to brush it as it's coming out of the tube, suction it back up again for about 10 to 20 more seconds, brush it as it's coming out of the tube, and then we go ahead and twist it up. And what I do for the ends is I actually apply more leave-in conditioner on the ends. I actually stopped using little clips on my ends because I felt like maybe that was contributing to my kind of like frayed and thinned ends. So I thought that maybe if I tried applying a little more product to the ends when twisting them, that they would hold. And I was right. And TGIN buttercream is like super thick, and it does an amazing job at this. Don't be light-handed with this. Use a lot, and I use it on the bottom, like, how much would you say this is, 3-4 inches? Anywhere between the last about 3 inches of the section, I'm applying a whole ton of extra leave-in to hold those twists and make sure my ends are super moisturized and protected. Now, the blow drying step is what is going to determine how long your hair stays defined for when you take it out. I recommend blow drying it about 80% of the way and not like 90 to 100%, which is what I usually do. I've discovered that when you only blow dry to about 80% dryness, I want to say 75-80%, and then you twist, your definition will last more than just one day. I made that mistake when we went to California. I will insert all of that footage. Now when it comes to untwisting them, this step is now different for me. If you've seen any of my previous hairstyling videos, you guys know that usually when I untwist, I just leave it. I don't separate, I don't try and make it more voluminous than it is. This is a step that's changed. So when I untwist now, each piece of that twist is now split into half, and I just like how, I don't know, it looks more natural. It doesn't look as stiff. It flows a little bit better. I just like the look of it. It looks so much better. Like I used to, when I would take my twist out, I used to like waiting till like day 2 or 3, and then I would really like how my twist looked. Now I like it straight out, you know, right off the bat from day 1. This has been the biggest change for me, is now, you know, separating out my twists. I never used to do that. Alrighty, so the hair routine is done, washed, moisturized, blow dried, twisted, and And I typically will leave these in anywhere between 4 to 7 days, so usually up to a week. So today is Thursday. I plan on taking these out on Tuesday, so I'll show you guys that, and then we'll spend the next week kind of showing you what my hair looks like out of the twist and how I manage that. But until then, I'm gonna go rest, and I will see you on Tuesday. All right, you guys, so today's Tuesday, and like I said, I was gonna undo my hair after about 5 days. And again, I usually leave my hair in these twists for about 4 to 7 days, just to give it time to set, especially when it's blow dried. It needs a little bit longer to set in a twist or a braid. It's not like working with wet hair. But before I do that, since today I'm gonna be out and about, I'm gonna actually use the Cecred Nourishing Hair Oil. This is the Beyonce line that I reviewed. You guys probably are familiar with it. But I'm just gonna put probably about a dime-sized amount on the whole head. We're gonna smear all of this on, especially at the ends here and at the roots of my hair, just to give it a little something to protect it. And then all we're gonna do is untwist and then separate. If you guys know me, and if you've been with my channel for a while, I used to be totally against separating my twists, but it looks a lot better in my personal opinion. And I just started doing this. So we're going to untwist. Don't worry, I'll show you what it looks like before I start separating everything. So this is what it looks like directly out of the twist. And then to make them not look so uniform, I'm literally just gonna take each of those twists and separate them, if they will. Hold on. There we go. Smooth it out and then twist it back in its original direction. Let's try it again with this one. Take it, starting at the root, split it in half, all the way down, and then I want to twist it back in its direction, just so it's not like super fluffy or anything. This gives it a little more body, and kind of helps it be a little more maneuverable. There we go. I like it, it's a little bit softer. And then we're just going to do that with the entire head. Let me just split that in half, twist it back its original direction. And if you want, you can separate it even more. I try not to do that because I like to keep my original section so that when it's time for wash day, it's easier to just put it back into its original twist for wash day. But there you go. There we go. Alright, last two. Like I said, I only split mine, each section in half, but you can split it into 3 or 4s if you want, and then you don't have to worry about making them, 50% perfect. Just split them where they will naturally start to kind of come apart. It looks a little more natural that way, personally. Twist it. Mine are twisted away from my face, so that's how I'm twisting mine. But as you can see, it looks a little bit fuller and a little bit softer than if I just left them straight out of the original twist, in my personal opinion. I know some people can't tell, but this is how I've been doing it lately, just the last couple of weeks. And sometimes I don't even add oil, but I'm doing that today because I'm going to probably be out and about for a while, so. And we're done. Voila. Okay, let's step back. Again, this is what it looks like when it's blow dried, so it's not like starting from just damp hair. So it's a little more stretched than a regular, wet twist. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I will show you guys tomorrow what it looks like in the rest of this week after kind of like sleeping on it. And you'll see it'll kind of gain a little bit more volume, but it'll also kind of lose a little bit of the definition. That's just kind of what happens. But This is day 1, and I'll see you tomorrow. Today is day 3, and I'm finally back in Arizona. But yesterday, I forgot to put my hair in a pineapple on Monday night. So yesterday, my hair got a little flatter than I was expecting. And then I also ended up having to put my hair in a ponytail for like all day yesterday. So it kind of took a lot of the curl out of my hair because it was pulled back. But last night I was able to put my hair in the pineapple, which is what I have been doing. This is what we're working with for day 3. But it flattened out a lot because of the ponytail. It's not too bad. I mean, I would still wear it down, but it's just not as defined as I would have liked, or as much as it was on day 1. But we'll do a quick turnaround. And it'll probably just start getting flatter and flatter from here on out. And usually the curls will last me, about 4 or 5 days. But this week turned out to be a little bit different, and I think it's because of 3 specific things. 1, I think I actually blow dried my hair a little too long. To help the curls last longer, you don't want your hair to be 100% dry after blow drying. You want it to be about 80% dry. I think I got mine like 99% dry. And I kind of had a feeling that I had dried it too long. So that's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 was after I took it out, instead of putting my hair in a pineapple, I just put my bonnet on like I used to do, and that tends to flatten out a lot of the outside curls. When you have it in a pineapple, it just kind of flattens around the edges, but that's hidden when you let your hair down. And then mistake number 3 was on day 2. My hair was pulled back like this in a ponytail for the entire day. And again, that smoothed out and pulled a lot of the curl pattern out of my hair. So this is kind of what I'm left with on day 3. It's usually more defined than this, but I'm not mad at this like at all. The ends still have really great definition. It's just usually more of the length of the hair will have that same definition. But this is pretty much it. I'm thinking maybe tomorrow or the day after I'll just retwist it, re-moisturize, redangle, and retwist for another couple days. Take those back out, wear it, and then wash. So I usually can get away with twisting my hair twice before re-washing. So my wash days are about once a month at this rate. Last but not least, the biggest change for me has been at night. You guys know I used to just put my bonnet on right over my hair and just lay on it. Now I take a scrunchie and I wear it in a pineapple. I basically just put it in one big ponytail on top of my head, then stick my bonnet on, and that's how I go to sleep. And my definition lasts way longer, like way longer. When you blow dry your hair, the straighter it is, the quicker the definition will go away over the course of a few days, right? And I used to lose most of my definition over the first 2 days. Just by doing the pineapple, I can keep the definition for like 4 or 5 days. It's insane to me. I know people have been telling me to pineapple for like the longest time, and I just didn't do it. You guys know how I am. I get in a routine and I stick to it for like ever. This has been the biggest change. I don't think I'm gonna go back from doing that because it's also really comfortable to sleep when everything's just on top of your head. You can lay on all sides of your head without like worrying about really squishing anything. And because the top sections are now protected by being on the inside of this ponytail, the definition lasts longer. If anything's gonna disappear, it's gonna be anything on the insides of the hair. The hair that you see right now is me retwisting what you saw in the clips from California. So we went to California, lost a ton of definition because I did not pineapple that first night, and it totally ruined it. I also think I over dried my hair, so the definition didn't last very long. Well, after I got home and I do my re-moisturizing routine, I just kind of did just a light mist, rubbed that in, put a ton of leave-in in, and then I retwisted, and that's what this is. So this is the retwist. And because it had a little more water on it this time, I think my definition looks better, and I also pineappled the first night. So don't over dry, and make sure you're pineappling every single night. But yeah, that is my recent hair routine. Not a whole lot of changes, but there are very few specific changes. And I hope that this kind of answered some questions for people. If you have any tips or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. I'm always reading my comments, and I greatly appreciate any suggestions you guys leave for me. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to click that subscribe button down below. Keep blooming, and I'll see you guys in my next video.